Hey everyone, it's Nancy from Nancy Grows Stuff. This is our beautiful Delilah. She's gracing us with her presence. I just wanted to do a quick jump on here and do a quick video to show you some herbs and what's going on here. This is the first time I have had a herb garden in the ground, and look at that basil. I mean, absolutely crazy. And the sage, and right next to it is fenugreek. I did pull that dill because it was just out of control, but if you look at it in general, what a beautiful selection of herbs. We've got our thyme is growing nicely here, and then of course our sage, the fenugreek, and then the stunning basil. Chamomile looks absolutely beautiful. I'm a big fan of growing herbs. Up there on the trellis right there, though, that's safflower. They're like a cheap version of saffron. I had to remove a good portion of the pollinator patch because it was just out of control. All right, here, herbs wise, this is not herbs. I threw some nasturtium seeds in a planter, and I don't know if I'll get flowers, but they just look green anyway. I had replanted a bunch of marjoram, and most of it did not take except that one little one. Dill, not a whole lot, but I still think it's pretty. Now, interesting thing, these two, this one and this one, are called cardinal basil. Cardinal basil. The really cool thing about this cardinal basil is it's supposed to have red in it, but it does not. But it's okay. It's okay. Very nice to see those bees there. It's got a slightly peppery taste, spicy taste. I just think it's beautiful. Look at that. Look at the bees just pollinating all over the place. These are raspberry plants. I love the bees. They're wonderful. We do as much as we possibly can to make homes for them and make sure that they are well fed. Okay. Hopping over here to this container of sage. I had a problem growing sage last year, but this year I don't seem to be having a problem with it. There's going to be plenty of sage pesto, sage butter, sage vinegar, and sage oils. Now the vinegars, they are 2 year. It's a 2-year process with them, so they sit for 2 years, and then you've got some fantastic sage vinegar. One of the interesting things about this acorn squash patch is that in the middle of it is a big old container of basil. This basil seems to help keep all of the pests away. We have not had much of a squash bug problem. I wanted to do a video on squash bugs for you, except for the fact that I haven't been able to find any squash bugs lately. Because I had such a hard time growing sage last year, I think I went a little bit overboard in the sage this year. This is a beautiful sage plant. It just bloomed and went fantastic. I've got a couple of them. Here, we'll bring you over here. There's that one, this one. They just look beautiful. This is some thyme coming up there. There's thyme coming up there. These are chives that have not come up yet, but they will. We've got our oregano, our holy basil, that's 2 years old, and a different kind of basil. I am not entirely sure what kind of basil that is. Look at that, more sage. Right next to it is marjoram and then some winter savory, and I planted a whole bunch of radishes to see if we could break that streak of having very poor radishes. All right, that is a little container of sage, which will go tomorrow. It's getting to be a little yellow. It doesn't grow well in those cement things. I don't know why I keep them around. This is a miscellaneous basil container. It's got some purple basil in it, as you can see, Italian basil. Let's see, right here, some oregano, more sage, marjoram. The marjoram is just such a beautiful, beautiful spice. Sage and sage. I have pots of herbs that I just stick everywhere. These are miscellaneous herbs. Again, we've got some dill back there. There's some sage. This is marjoram, more sage, and this is a basil. It's a several different kinds of basil, because you can see these leaves are a little bit different than the leaves in the center. Back on Tomato Alley, I've got very few herbs left here. They don't seem to do too well. I think it's too sunny for them. There's some dill there. Again, more sage, and my tarragon looks pretty good. We're going to be pulling that and making some butter, and no pesto with tarragon. The tarragon pesto is too bitter, but the butters are pretty good, and dried it's pretty good as well. This was the year of experimental everything. These are two different kinds of basil. This basil right here is the basil called the Isle of Naxos. This is called basil Agostino Regito. They are from a specific area in Italy. The seeds cost me a fortune, but the taste of these basils is just, they're very, very strong and very nice. I will probably just dry these, maybe make a butter out of them, not entirely sure, but they are pretty great basils. Last but not least is up on top of the deck here. This is a 3-year-old rosemary plant. This is one where rosemary has not come up, and I'm going to say yet. I'm hoping it will. This rosemary came up, but it came up in the corner, so I'm going to have to let that get a little stronger and then move it. Got some nice looking chamomile right here, okay? Of course, dill, marjoram, looking pretty good. It's all I'm going to try to harvest as much as I can. This is rosemary. I'm not sure if that's a rosemary plant or not. I'm not confident it is, but I got a real nice one starting here. All right, rosemary is very, very difficult to grow from seed, and these other rosemary plants that I have here are all 2- and 3-year-old rosemary plants. I know. There's a lot of them. And then we got, of course, some marjoram. I had to move this out of the sun. It was getting sunburned. This is a very interesting type of basil right here. It's a lemon basil. It's going to be a fantastic butter. Not so good in pestos, and it's getting ready to bolt here, so I've got to get this out of here so that so it doesn't bolt, so it doesn't become bitter. And there's our lemon balm. I dry that, use that for teas in the wintertime. Helps with congestion and just your overall well-being. Up here, I have 2 basil plants. I believe it's a basil blend, so they're both basil blends. Yep, so there are many different kinds of basils in there. They were kind of suffering in the sun. I had gotten these lovely little cups from Casey, and I turned them into planters for basil. They're very nice. I'm actually thinking of giving these to people. And of course, one more cactus never hurts. So all in all, the herb gardens are growing fantastically. They grew a whole lot quicker than I thought they would. So this weekend there'll be butters, basils, oils, and vinegars made. It'll probably take me about a day, maybe a day and a half. And of course the chamomile is ongoing. You just pick that every single day, so you get more and more. It's a classic case of raindrops make a flood on chamomile, but chamomile tea is just absolutely wonderful. But we got our raspberries, we got some out of control tomatoes over there, tomatoes in containers, you know, there's the squash, there's our new compost. Carrots are a little crazy, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple of dill plants in the middle of it. Everything else looking pretty decent. Potatoes out of control, of course. Strawberries done for the season. Gooseberry plants, yep, everything looks good. I killed some Minnesota midget plants, which that's a whole nother ball game. But as a whole, got our spinach going there. We got to get that out of there. Spinach, there's tarragon there. I'm letting the arugula go to seed to add a little bit of pollinators. This baby kale will be picked this weekend too. We'll be using that for salads and sautés. So as a whole, everything is going well, and I hope you're enjoying your 4th of July. I'll get this posted as soon as I can, and I'll leave you with a picture of our pollinators. Aren't they beautiful? Have a good one.